Oh! Welcome, motherfuckers, to another JuRY podcast. This is the pre-show. If you're watching this on YouTube, do me a favor. Go ahead and click down. Hopefully the top link is somebody linking to when the show actually starts. At least I hope that's getting done. If not, I'm just saying this for my health. But maybe you could be the person. Only you can prevent forest fires, and only you can make me not look like a dickhead in all these videos. We will be beginning with the show in a second. I just need to get my chat set up. This is the pre-show. We're watching this on YouTube. All right. There we go. I am live and direct. It's all I've ever cared about. Go ahead. Option. Good. All right. Oh, let's go ahead and get the music back. No one had noticed spilling around, and somebody beside you slipped your head inside the crowd. Princess of the poppers, all the old showstoppers, till this moment still unknown. Siren song to try to, yet she takes you as her own. Princess of the poppers, and all the old showstoppers, till this moment still unknown. How's the audio, gang? Go ahead and let me know what you think of the audio. I got a little monitor set up, man. I'll tell you what, and I'll get into this in the show because it's been very exciting for me. But this whole Let's Do JuRY Talks weekly kind of experiment has been really fun. It's forced me to become a lot more resourceful. It's a good lesson in life. Let me go ahead and start recording. Oh, that's the one thing I don't have. I do not have but on this computer. So I will not be able to stream to Alpha Geek Radio today. But I'll get that fixed. I will get that fixed. I should have brought my other computer. That's the one thing I definitely should have done. But I didn't. So this is what we get. Unfortunately, if you are a live listener, I'm putting a finger right in your ass tonight, and I do apologize for that. Okay. Cool beans. I think we're ready to roll. So I do need to record this. Let me get a little quick time play out. Oh, no audio recording. Blue Icicle. Let's make sure. Politics, 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 politics. Yes. All right. Check, check, check. I think that's the same thing. Let me turn.
National coalition we've built. Now is the time to heed the timeless advice.
There we go. Okay, cool. Check, check. Yeah, good, good, good. I think we're ready. Todd Whitehead says, I shall fix your butt. I don't have time right now, though. I know, Todd. I know. I should. It's a different computer. That's the thing. I don't have butt on here, and I don't have any of this stuff. And I know you normally have to set up a time so you can come on and fix the computer up and everything. We're going to go one episode without it. But that's we're rolling forward. That's fine. We can do one episode. Just one. That's it. That's all we're going to need to do. Let's go ahead and get this party started. We will begin right now.
On the day that we met on the internet, I asked her for a photograph.
Photographs come pretty easy, but not cheap where I am today. Oh, you can get any old flavor you want. You can get one in front of the cartoon your kid won't shut up about. You can get one in front of a country's landmark that definitely isn't where we are. And yet, no matter what, there is one consistent thing amongst all the glittering flora and fauna of Orlando, Florida. It'll cost your ass $25 if you would like a photo. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the JuRY podcast. My name is Justin Robert Young. This is a show in which I talk to you, the dear listener. And we have gone, my friends, on a journey, an epic journey, a soul-defining point A to point B, Bilbo Baggins, here and back again, motherfucking journey, okay? Started 2 weeks ago on this very show. I made a bold declaration. I said that there was only 3 reasons to have a podcast, modeled after the 3 reasons that Tony Kornheiser once said you should have a local radio show. That was support your friends, number 1. Got to be good to your friends, good to your homies. Number 2, punish your enemies. I mean, listen.
National coalition we built. Now is the time to heed the timeless advice from Teddy Roosevelt. Speak softly and carry a big stick. End of quote. I promise you, the president has that big stick.
You got to have that big stick. You got to be able to wield it when the time is right. That's why you have a podcast. Because somebody crosses you, somebody crosses your friends, you can drop holy fire on them. But the third reason, very important, third reason, and this is where it differs from Tony Kornheiser. See, his is you should be able to get a good table at a good restaurant. This is the internet. We don't fucking have restaurants. We have better ways to deal with other restaurants. We don't have our own. Not yet. However, we can get free shit on Twitter. And that's what I aim to do. I wanted to get free salsa from Salpica Salsa. I left it in your hands, the listeners of this show. And boy, did you guys let Frontera Fiesta, the parent company of Salpica Salsa, know that I love the shit out of that salsa and I wanted free salsa. So let's go ahead and get into what happened in the intervening 2 weeks. Going into my DMs now. 12 days ago, I got an reply saying, ladies and gentlemen, we've heard you. We know that Justin loves Salpica Salsa. We're glad he does. I hope he gives us his address or a DM. So I did. I wrote, hello, your salsa is the best. Thanks for reaching out. This is me playing a little coy because this has been a naked attempt for me to get free salsa. And God knows if they even watched the fucking episode that I have been linking with their brand of gorgeous to delicious salsa. You know, I don't think so, because I was talking about the word retarded and all sorts of, I think Hitler, of course, was probably at some point looped in. So I'm playing a little coy because I don't know whether this is just a honeypot. Like Frontera's like, oh, we're really glad you like salsa. Why don't you DM us? And I'm like, hey man, where's my free salsa? I got my hand out. And then they're like, I heard what you said. I heard that you said that Salpica Salsa is complex and rich, like having to decide whether or not you're going to use the word retarded in common language. They weren't like that. They said this. Thank you. Job well done on creating a buzz. We're happy to hear how much you and your followers enjoy it. We'd love to mail you some salsa. Please DM us your address and we'll send it your way. So I sent the address to them. Now, who knows what will happen from here? Wait a minute. Who knows? I know. That's who. Because at first, that was my idea. I'm like, well, fucking, all right. Listen, they were really nice, but they run a salsa fucking empire around here. Okay? They ain't got time to fucking ship salsa to every ham and egger fucking white sock wearing motherfucker who talks jive on the internet. This has got to be low on the totem pole. This has got to be the intern's best friend who fucking sends me a jar of salsa in the mail and doesn't even send it with any kind of packaging on it. He literally just throws a jar of salsa at a post office box, watches it shatter, and says, job well fucking done. This can't be a priority. Until today. It's happened, ladies and gentlemen. It has happened. The eagle has landed. The salsa has finally come back to Oakland. I need everybody to go to my Twitter account. That is twitter.com/Justin R. Young. And in a moment, you will see these photos. I am going to tweet them during the break, but you can see, if you are watching live, the fucking Marcellus Wallace suitcase of salsa that has arrived in Oakland, California. I didn't even know they made half these goddamn flavors. Let me just go ahead and read them like Maya Angelou. Salsa roja, mango peach, cilantro green, olive, roasted corn and bean, chipotle black bean, salsa con queso, jalapeno jack salsa. I am so fucking pumped that all this happened. And it is all because you guys have proven without a shadow of a doubt to be the true warriors in the battle for salsa. I got so much I want to talk about here today. I am so excited to finally be back and talking to you guys. We got all sorts of stuff. I have a very fucking complicated feelings on Weezer. I want to talk about going to see the NXT wrestling show. I have gotten so much mail on my retarded conversation, and not retarded like I'm saying the conversation was retarded, but the conversation about the word retarded, that I'm going to read a few of them, hopefully so we can close the book on this. And also, I want to talk to you about the Crusades. But in our grand tradition of playing music from people that won't sue me, all the songs today during our breaks are going to come to you by way of someone that you'll be able to see at Dragon Con. His name is Professor Shy Guy.
In my chair, with my eye upon the world, seeing mistakes, exceedingly great new things unfurl. Watching a hero swinging a golf ball retriever like he's not more but meaner, he shouts. Watching a lady trying to cheat on strawberry grapes off her feet on her face now.
As you might have heard, I am in Orlando, Florida. That is not used to not be weird. I used to be in Orlando, Florida all the time. However, now that I live in Oakland, that doesn't happen all that often. So I'm here for a Go game. It's a big fat conference. It's been super fun. They've been really amazing. The property that we're on is just insane. And By the way, I was going to tell you about this story about wrestling, but here, let me go on a bit of a jag here. I want to thank you guys, not only for the salsa thing, but everybody who's watching, everybody who's listening. Me doing the JuRY show, I've talked about it before. I wanted to step up my game, do it every Tuesday while put the belt song on. While Night Attack is on Sundays because Brian's vacationing and it makes better sense for his schedule. I want to do a JuRY show every Tuesday. Now, the JuRY show for me used to be just kind of a hobby. It used to be like a thing like making a model airplane. It was a skill I wanted to get good at. The idea of a one mic radio show has always been something that I've been fascinated by. But this was a different animal. If I say I want to do it every week, I got to be responsible to you guys. And you have watched and listened, man. It really has blown my mind. And as I stand here before you, I got a better camera. I got a pro mic that I hold out here. I got a board. I got my iPad all hooked up. I found a little little iPad or iPod tuner radio that they give you like in the hotel. Baby, I got a stew going. And it is here for you. I do this for you, Shatrell. Thank you so much. So much. It really has just made me look at this whole thing totally different. And the fact that I can go and start something new, and you guys are there for me, means the world. Speaking of chat realm, I'm at Universal Studios the other day. I go to Diagon Alley, right? This is the new Harry Potter world. Brand spanking new. Can't be more than a month old. Next thing you know, oh my God, I swear to God, I just broke up because I'm looking here at the chat room and Gatowags is talking into the wrong end of the mic. You motherfucker! God damn it, I hate you. Walking down, and I can't say where because this motherfucker should not be doing this. He broke character. So he could flash me the Diamond Club sign. This is a celebrity moment for me. I really, it was something that blew my mind. I had never experienced it. And it was only later that I realized it was not necessarily my distinctive voice that might have attracted my attention to him. It was not my luxurious beard, which anybody watching live can realize is just in peak performance. We are at Olympic grade beard right now. No, there is one more defining characteristic that this random wizarding employee of Universal Studios most likely recognized me from. And that was the douchiest thing you can possibly do, which is to wear a t-shirt with your own face on it. I was wearing the Night Attack t-shirt with the, although this gopher version of Hall & Oates, I think, probably bears a fairly striking resemblance to me as well. But that's what I'm wearing now on the stream. That day, I'm wearing the Spearmint Nitrate animated versions of me and Brian. And I'm sure he looked at that and said, oh, shit, a Night Attack fan. And I'm a fan of Night Attack. And the next thing you know, looks up, it's my weird mug that he's flashing the Diamond Club symbol to. So big shout out to that guy. If he's listening to this, do me a favor and email me, justinrobertyoung@gmail.com. I took a picture of him flashing the Diamond Club sign, which is way illegal. He can't be doing that. That's like way breaking character. In Harry Potter, fucking Ron didn't say to Hermione, yo, die in a fire. Do you listen to Night Attack? How about the JuRY podcast? I think it's weird that he's saying retarded. You didn't see that, so therefore it's bad for him to be breaking character. But he did for me. I was so excited, took a picture, sent it to Brian. Here's what I wanted to get on to talk about. Before that, I've been leading a Central Florida existence. I rolled here with Brett, and we decided that this was going to be Central Florida the fucking max. What do you need for a fucking Central Florida weekend? Well, I'll tell you what you need. Number one, get off the plane, hop in a rental car, and we go drive down I-4 to Daytona Beach, where we saw a professional wrestling show. God, it was so fun. I really had a good time. I also realized that it's borderline cruel to bring non-wrestling fans to wrestling shows, especially a wrestling house show, for a minor league system. Now, a world-class minor league system for the WWE. NXT is a very good product. There's a reason why I wanted to spend my good hard-earned money to go see it. Also, it's $10 for the bleachers and $20 if you want to sit ringside. Can't beat it with a stick. But it's borderline bizarre for people who do not give a shit about wrestling, but just want to see the spectacle to go see it. There's so much. Like, the entire time, it would have made more sense to my brother and Brett, who went with me. Also, we took a 5-year-old. I don't know whether or not that was good or not. I figured it was a coin flip. Because either it's going to scar the kid for life, or this is like exactly wrestling is for young kids. In hindsight, I think it scarred him for life. But let's move on. Brett and Eric would have reacted the same way if somebody were literally just shitting in the middle of the ring. It was entertaining. It was certainly something they were not expecting to see. But at the end of the day, there's really no appreciation for the art form like I or some of the other people that were there might appreciate. They were just kind of like wowed by the bizarre spectacle. Here are the top 3 people that they very much enjoyed. Number 1 is a dude who I'm not familiar with, who's not on television, on NXT television, which you can watch on the WWE network, who comes out, puts a little baby keyboard in the middle of the ring, and then plays a song about how he's not on television. So there, that happened. No wrestling match. Intro music hits, comes out to the ring, plays a song, says he wishes he was on television, gets up, goes back. Second, the Vaudevillains. Do yourself a favor, go on YouTube, look up the Vaudevillains NXT. They are fucking awesome. Basically, the conceit is that they're silent film stars. So they come out to like in fact, you want to know what here? I'm gonna go ahead and call an audible, and let's go ahead and get the Vaudevillains theme song playing while I tell you about the number one person that made an impression, pro wrestling performer, an NXT superstar, made an impression on Brett and Eric. His name is CJ Parker. CJ Parker's gimmick is that he is an earth conservationist heel. He wants to save the earth, and he's really pushy about it. And he shows up as his music hits with a sign that says "Stop fricking fracking." He proceeds to cut a promo on the crowd saying that the world agrees with him that fracking is bad for Mother Earth. However, none of the people that agree with him live in Florida. Always a way to rile up some heat from the local crowd, call them idiots and dumb. He does both. And then proceeds to yell at his opponent, the babyface in this equation, Sami Zayn, "You're ruining my world." Just kept screaming, "You're ruining my world. You're ruining my world." Every time I got a huge pop. I absolutely loved it. Brett and Eric are looking dumbfounded. And that came before our second people. So we'll come back and talk about Weezer But our break, we're going to take a break from the Shy Guy and play the Vaudevillains theme song here for you. Just imagine the whole crowd. So good. So good. I love it. I love it. Vaudevillains. Super amazing. Simon Gotch, Aiden English. Watch NXT. If you like wrestling, number one, you should get the WWE Network. I'm going to have to go into a whole thing about how much I watch the WWE Network next week. NXT. Well worth your time. Here's something else that's well worth my time. It's called Weezer. If I'm going to list the most influential bands in my life, especially my youth, it is a 3-band list. Beastie Boys, Beck, Weezer. I can't overstate how much the Blue Album and Pinkerton, chiefly, we're going to give some marks to the Green Album, have affected my life. It was the first concert that I have been extraordinarily excited to go to. It was, it was kind of a movement thing. Because at the point that I got into Weezer, at the point that the Blue Album really became important to me, it was after they had kind of gone on this big hiatus. They had been, I don't know. They had been, Rivers Cuomo, specifically the lead singer, had been blown away by the fact that people didn't like the Pinkerton album. So he goes off and shaves his head and tries to be a monk, as he sings so famously. And Weezer was in a era of burgeoning, burgeoning internet community, becomes this cause celebrity amongst kids my age and probably a little older. We might have been on the younger edge of the people that were really, really, really into Weezer. So then Weezer comes out with the Green Album. And it's a huge deal. That's the concert that I was super pumped to go see. I see them. They play half shit from the Blue Album, half shit from Pinkerton, and then the three best songs, as it turned out, from the Green Album. So it was like Island in the Sun, Hash Pipe, something else. Forget. It was as if Jesus had returned. I could not have been more excited. Because, the Beastie Boys were, by the time I really got into them, their best work, save for Hello Nasty, was behind them. Beck was still an evolving artist, but he wasn't electric in the same way. Beck was kind of always going to be Beck. Beck was just, he was like mac and cheese. It was super great to have it, but it wasn't like you were really afraid he was going to go away. I mean, I guess he's a Scientologist, but he never just struck me as crazy. He was just going to be a guy doing art rock until the day he dies. And since the shit was so fucking weird when he was young, it ain't like it's going to get fucking incomprehensible when he gets old. Might suck. It might be fucking too arty, but that's just something that you learn to take. Weezer was pop perfection. You go ahead and listen to that Blue Album. Do it for me, son. Go ahead and put that motherfucker on, and then you tell me the weak song on that album. Go ahead and hashtag join the conversation on that, motherfuckers. Go ahead and listen to the Blue Album. Tell me the song that is weak, because I will show you that you are a fucking liar. That album is perfect. Pillar to post. which made it all the more disappointing when they sucked. Green Album was all right. Maldroy, it's all right. Other than that, frustrating. Frustrating to be a fan of Weezer to the point where you feel responsible for saying you're a Weezer fan and then not giving it the caveat 90s Weezer. Now, I'm sure this is not a new story when it comes to band fandom. At some point, all the bands that you really love don't make music that you really love anymore. It happens. But all of a sudden, I started to get tweets this week. Friends, listeners to this show, they tell me, have you heard the new Weezer song? The Weezer song is called Back to the Shack. And I just listened to it. I put it off. I wanted to get a fresh reaction for you, the listeners to the JuRY podcast. And I was kind of blown away by it. Not necessarily in a good way. It's here's the fucking TLDR up top. It's good. I like it. As far as Weezer singles go, I like this better than I've pretty much liked all of the lead singles save for Hash Pipe. I think Island in the Sun's a better single, but that came after Hash Pipe. I like this better than Pork and Beans. I like it better than I think Keep Fishin' was the one off Maldroid. I think it's good. Maybe it's not better than Keep Fishin'. Keep Fishin' is actually a really rad track. But I was blown away by the fact that the song is so referential to the fact that they were the band I loved before, and now they're not that band. Let's go ahead and bring up the lyrics. The lyrics to Back to the Shack, Weezer. Oh, okay. Back to the Shack, Weezer lyrics. All right. Do. Okay, this is all awesome radio. Take me back to the shack, back to this Strat with the lightning strap. Kick in the door, more hardcore, rocking out like 94, turn up the radio. Let's turn up those stupid singing songs. It's where we need to go, back to the shack. Not only is this a kind of a naked plea for like, hey, listen, guys, who always talk about how everything we've done since the 90s blows. I want to do stuff like the 90s. And I don't know if I know how to get there, but I know I have an intention to get there. Now, here's where it gets really crazy. I finally settled down with my girl, and I made up with my dad. This is essentially the entirety of Pinkerton. Him being fucked up about women, in the case of Across the Sea, borderline criminally so, and like being upset with his dad, or the Blue Album. I mean, like, Dear Daddy, I write you in spite of years of silence, you cleaned up, found Jesus. Like, it's about fucking being upset with your dad because you have what is thought to be genetic alcoholism. This is really, this is like a big deal. This is, but I don't know how to feel about it. Like, I don't know whether or not he's saying, hey, I want to do these songs you love, but, like, the turmoil that caused the songs you love is not in me anymore. Like, is this Rivers Cuomo just trying to say, I agree with you, I want to do that. I'm not that dude. That dude's dead. That should be the song. Hi, I'm Rivers. There's a really fucked up guy who is fairly hard to be around, not going to lie, that lived in the 90s. He made those songs. We used to have the same skin. And in fact, we to this day share the same name. However, the guy died. somewhere around 2001, fucking got too drunk, fell over fucking because of the Y2K scare, and now he's dead. And there's me now. And I make songs like Beverly Hills. That's where you want to be. But at the same time, all I do is hear about this other guy. I hear about this 94 Rivers Cuomo. And I listen to the songs again, and I'm going to tell you, they're fucking toe-tapping. They're pretty rad melodies. It's a shame the guy died. But here's this song. This is my ode to the person I used to be. We belong in the rock world. There's so much left to do. If we die in obscurity, oh well, at least we raise some hell. I don't know what to make of it. I think the rush to judgment would be, well, look, Weezer wants to make rock songs again. It's not like they never stopped making rock songs. They made shitty rock songs. It should be like, hey, I thought Beverly Hills sucked too. Gimme. I thought Beverly Hills sucked too. I don't know. Is there anybody other Weezer fans out there? I feel like this is a common kind of emotion. Whenever I run into other people who really like Weezer, this is the conversation that we have, and very few of them cape up for the new shit. But man, that old shit. Man, those times smoking weed in my car with my friends. Man, those times 4 a.m. with all my friends at the Daily Orange, 744 Ostrom Avenue, shit-faced wasted, singing to the Blue Album at the top of our lungs. Man, those are memories. And it's unfair to put those on Weezer, It's unfair to say just because you did art, you are responsible for my feelings about that art. But I hope it's back. I do. I very much do. We're going to talk about the word retarded yet again. It's going to be a very fun discussion. And then I'm going to give you a little Wikipedia reading. It's so popular on the Reddit. The things I learned, I'm going to learn you up on one of the most fucked up things that's ever happened in the history of this green earth. Coming up.
Most of what I know are the things that I can touch and breathe in, not telling me the reason to see them. Some see math while others they see chaos. Some see rap while others see expanding universe. New galaxies begin to birth, and then they end before the first time that a person can observe them. We do self-relying on our vision. We have cells dividing, making new life as we die. They begin to multiply, and we can see the cities rise from the earth as our body dies.
Let's go ahead and keep up our tradition of giving the band some. Hit up Professor Shy Guy on Twitter. I believe it's like Prof Shy Guy on Twitter. Let's go ahead and look that up. And let him know that I'm playing his shit and that you really dig it. If you don't dig it, then fucking, yeah, Professor Shy Guy. That's it. On Twitter. If you dig the music, let him know that you're digging his shit. If not, then don't. But, shout him out. Let the dude know we're grooving on him. Let's go ahead and read some emails. If you'd like to email me, just go ahead and make sure you put JuRY Podcast in the subject line and send it on to justinrobertyoung@gmail.com. This one comes from Charles. Hey, JuRY, I wanted to give you my perspective on the whole retard issue. I grew up in a musical house. My first interest was in classical music. This is where I was first introduced to the word retard. In the music dialect, this word has been used for a longer period than its current take on the word. He then gives the actual definition of retarded. I'm tired of the PC way that the world is going. Our children need to be educated and strengthened not to let every potential word be offensive. Now, I'd be lying to you if I said that this was not the tenor of most of the emails that I got on this. This was very much representative. However, none were more colorful than an email I got with the subject lines, retards, fuckers, the N-word, except he wrote out the N-word, and Bengali beggars. This one comes from Blockman. Blockman writes, "Hello, Justin. I've been a fan of yours for many years. For my background, I'm a colored man with one of my parents being from India and the other being from Kenya. I don't take offense to any word, be it retard, fucker, or the N-word." Except he didn't say the N-word. He said the word real word. It is the meaning behind the words that can be offensive. I regularly use these words. Someone can say the N-word 100 times and not be offensive, but that one time when they call you when they call a black man a N-word for doing something they disagree with, they've crossed the line. Similarly, when you said you were talking about food like a Bengali beggar, you were insulting a specific group of people. That crossed the line. Now, he cleared up in a later email that he was not saying that he was offended. He was just trying to illustrate his point that everything offends someone. Now, here is what I would like to say on this subject. And hopefully it's the last that we talk about it. Now, people still want to have the conversation. We'll still have the conversation. I don't know exactly how much I'm ever going to really make anybody smarter or add to the discourse about what's offensive and what's not. I can state my feelings, and I will whenever it becomes germane to the conversation. But as a general starting point, I don't feel like I have a tremendous amount to add to what is an otherwise fairly fleshed out debate. That being said, why do I feel comfortable saying retarded and not the N-word? Or, as Todd Whitehead points out in the chat room, really I am doing the despicable thing for which Louis C.K. very comedically points out. I am worse than somebody who says the N-word because I am making you say the N-word in your head. So, the reason why I choose to say what I do is for clarity, not necessarily for offense. Because I agree probably more so with the people who emailed in compared to the people that might find it offensive. I don't know whether or not how many are listening to this show that find that word offensive, but I think it started out with somebody emailing in on it. So why is it clarity? In comedy, or if you're trying to make a point, you are really completely dependent on whether or not somebody understands what the fuck you're saying. And specifically, if you have a picture in your head, you need to get it into the head across from you, or in this case through the internet, with as little degradation as possible. As illustrated in the game Telephone. Telephone is a fun game because it's really what happens in life all the time. We say things, and maybe we mean them in the way that they are received. Maybe we don't. The most clear communicators that we have, these are people that become politicians and CEOs, have a defining trait. Their thoughts can be transferred to other people in a clear and concise manner. When you're trying to make people laugh, there's an extra layer on top of that. Not only do you have to convey the actual joke that you think is funny, since comedy is very delicate, and you need to have a assurance that what, if I said a duck fell into a vat of acid because I think it's funny, they need to know, whoever's listening, that I'm saying a duck fell into a vat of acid and not the duck fell into a bathtub, because that might not be as funny. When you start talking about offensive things, and by offensive things, I'm going to say, define that as things that are generally found to be offensive by more than 0.5% of the population. You have to be careful with it. Because if you are dissecting it in a way that is not funny enough, the mere reference of it will negate anything you've said. It's high-stakes poker. It's the reason why the most revered comic of all time is Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor could tell brutally excoriating race jokes. He could expose a very, very, very tender pain in the culture. A pain that gets people killed on both sides. Or all sides. I don't know if this is really a two-sided issue. All sides. It was because he took the risk and could communicate his ideas clearly enough that white and black alike could look at an ugly situation and laugh. And he is rewarded for that by being heralded as somebody that had the nuts to do it. I don't quite know if I have a handle on using the N-word in a way that Louis C.K. can. Louis C.K. is probably, for my money, pound for pound, the funniest stand-up comic on the planet right now. So, I don't feel comfortable. And if I don't feel comfortable doing it, then it's not going to come off as confident. And if my point doesn't come out as confident, that means I'm throwing around the N-word for cheap laughs that I don't even know will work. And that's reckless. And it's a really, really, really quick way for other people to just listen to that and then shut off anything else I say. And so if I say, but no, wait, I have another point I'd like to make. You should have listened. You're done. You put yourself in a situation where you've let people turn off their brain because you have already gone into the red line with them. So that's why I don't say it. I talked last time about, why I do say the word retarded. That's why I don't say other words. That's why I say the N-word instead of nagger. We have a little educational segment for you. We're going to bring this fucking party to a close with a little educational segment, and that'll come up after this.
Let's review for a sec. Start with City K Codex. The beautiful, neurotic, introverted, unsexed gamer girl and protagonist we all love. Whoa.
God damn it, Professor Shy Guy's fucking awesome. I'm gonna let this ride out a little bit.
The glue that holds the group together, how they need her. But there's a piece that she created in Zabu Balakrishnan Goldberg. He's crazy, overbearing, delusional, and insecure. He plays the warlock, but like a rogue and searing gore. Enable stealth until he shows a better move.
Now let's talk about dead children. You ever get a song stuck in your head? You just wake up, you're in the shower, all of a sudden, you just can't help but think about some song you heard a while ago. Maybe it's a line from a movie. This happens to me all the time. All of a sudden, I just keep running over and over and over in my head a line from a movie or something that I saw on TV or a cartoon or something from fucking decades ago. The other day, I had something strange stuck in my head. The Children's Crusade. What? Yes. The Children's Crusade. If you don't know what the Children's Crusade is, go ahead and marinate. Let me know what you think the Children's Crusade is. You know, you might think that it was some kind of tent revival in the 70s, like an Up With People kind of movement. Maybe a Donnie and Marie kind of singing group. No, it's not. It is exactly what you might think it is. It is a children's version of the Holy Crusade of the 13th century. Let me go ahead. So I looked this up, and I thought it was, in my head, I thought it was that the powers that be had decided, after unsuccessfully trying to expel Muslims from the Holy Land, that the European forces, rather, that they would just, the plans got increasingly bizarre, and one of them was to send children there in battle armor, and then they got fucking murdered. That's what I thought it was. And yet, it's kind of even more fucked up. I'm going to go ahead and read for you. This is the traditional account from Wikipedia. I'm bringing you the audio version of TIL on Reddit right here on the JuRY podcast, just because this is so fucked up. The variants of the long-standing story of the Children's Crusade have similar themes. A boy began preaching in either France or Germany, claiming they had been visited by Jesus and told to lead a crusade to peacefully convert Muslims to Christianity. And at that point, I'm like, man, that's better than I thought. I thought it was something fucked up. I thought, some old fat fucking priest is like, well, I know what to do. Just send the kids with the knives. They'll be able to stab all the Muslims they want. They're so tiny and cute. And then they all went down there and got murked by the dozens. But no, this sounds like kind of an Up With People fucking thing. Like, it's just the kid thought, you want to know what? Maybe fucking from the mouth of babes, let's go down there to the Holy Land and let's try to save the Muslim heathens by preaching the good word. Oh, I need that old time religion. That's what they thought. However, this does not end on one sentence. We continue. Through a series of proposed portents and miracles, he gained a considerable following, including possibly as many as 30,000 children. 30,000 children. We're getting into One Direction level, people. This motherfucker was a pop star before being a pop star was cool. Eat fucking shit, Bieber. This dude's got 30,000 people back in fucking the 13th century. You can't hold this motherfucker's jock, Biebs. He then led his followers south towards the Mediterranean Sea in the belief that the sea would part on their arrival, allowing him and his followers to march to Jerusalem. But this did not happen. Shocker. Shocker. This motherfucker marches 30,000 kids down to the fucking Red Sea, thinks it's going to be fucking Universal Studios, and they're going to roll on through. Turns out you can't fucking, Bieber can't hold this motherfucker's jock. This motherfucker can't hold Moses' jock. That dude fucking slammed a staff down. Next thing you know, he's walking high and dry, and the Roman soldiers, or actually the Egyptian soldiers, are fucking getting drowned when he closes the door behind them. This kid fucking rolls down there. And meanwhile, I mean, listen, I just went to dinner with my brother. My brother's looking after a 5-year-old right now. Couldn't keep this one fucking 5-year-old under wraps. 30,000. This kid's fucking traveling down there. And let's understand what a kid was then. A kid was aged like 1 to 6. At 7, he had a full-time job and 3 kids. Gets all the way down there and he's like, don't worry, fellow 8-year-olds. I'm going to part the Red Sea. Smash cut. 5 days later, we continue with Wikipedia. 2 merchants, Hugh the Iron and William the Prosperous, gave free passage on boats to as many of the children that were willing. Man. So now I'm like, holy shit. This fucking kind of actually happened. In his miracle dreams, his omens, his portents, he assumes that the Red Sea is going to open. And yet, it was through the generosity of 2 men that the waves did part. They made their way without a single boat from shore to spread the word, the true gospel of the one King of Kings in the Holy Land, the place that needed it the most. Except for the fact, as we return to Wikipedia, that the merchants actually sold all the kids into slavery. Oh, wait, hold on. No. Some of them died in a shipwreck. Oh, wait, hold on. Some of them never got on the boats because they died from starvation walking through the desert. Turns out that was a bad plan. Children's Crusade. Remind us to not do another Children's Crusade. Children's Crusade was a little too fucked up. All right, everybody, that about brings us to a close on this episode of the JuRY Show. I would like to thank you guys for joining me. If you would like to reach out, you can go ahead and do it at Justin R. Young on Twitter, JustinRobertYoung@gmail.com. Put JuRY Podcast in the subject line. I'll be back live and direct next week. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, please don't die. All right, hold on. We're going into overtime here. So, Rocco Dine in the chat room says, that's right, tell the kids not to be inspired by God. I am not saying do not be inspired by God. You can be inspired by God all you want. I am in no way suggesting that the fucked up part about that story is the inspiration from God, right? In fact, I thought it was poetically amazing while I was reading it that this child's generosity and thought that through nonviolent preaching he could change the world that had been so horrifically war-torn. I found that to be poetically beautiful. It is not the God part of this equation for which I raise objection. Rather, it is the fact that you're going to lead a bunch of kids through the motherfucking desert and then get them all raped, murdered, and fucking dead of exhaustion lying out in the fucking desert like snakeskins for a dumb plan. It's a dumb plan. It's a dumb plan. Dumb plan. Now, life didn't cost that much fucking back in the day. People died all the fucking time. So maybe it's less dumb than it is now. However, if somebody fucking killed 30,000 children, I don't give a fuck if he was the most eloquent 8-year-old on the goddamn planet, could talk an Eskimo out of his fur. It would be a really fucked up thing. You don't kill 30,000 children. It's just not a thing that we like to do. Certainly frowned upon. Anyway, that's it. Bye.
The way y'all dressed up. Do you like
Oh, there we go. Boom, boop, boop. Thank you guys so much. As always, it is super fucking awesome that you guys are here and hanging out. Um, Let me go back and look. Sometimes I get so locked into the show, I can't really watch the chat room all that much. And this time I don't have my three monitors. Normally I keep a monitor over here where I can just kind of, as I'm setting up the next shit, I can like look and just kind of catch what you guys are talking about. But in this one, it's hard for me to just switch over there. Thank you very, very much for Todd Whitehead for getting me on Alpha Geek Radio no matter what. Um, All right, so real quick, words are not offensive. The intent behind them, on the other hand, this is something that I hear about a lot whenever we get into a conversation about offensive language, quote unquote. My point is that intentions are nearly impossible to tell. We think we have a good beat on them, but ultimately there are interpretations of other people's actions, and that is very often very wrong. It is barely a reliable way to go through life. So when we're looking at putting all that weight on our own, you know, uh, fucking Sherlock Holmesian ability to tell what evil lurks in the heart of men. You ain't the shadow, motherfucker. None of us are. I wish I was. Who knows? The shadow knows. MEK 4321 JuRY. Who is the NA guest next week? Next week it will be Mr. Jason Murphy. Jason Murphy. Darkness. Yeah, so Jason Murphy from Rage Select and Brian's Vacation, which is currently in vacationing mode. You can see him on the show next week. JuRY, are you going to have any time for an LA meetup while you're here in August? I think that is far more likely now that my Go game canceled. So I think the best likelihood would be Friday the 14th, whatever that Friday is. That probably makes the most sense. No hard plans, but that's what it looks like. Also, some Night Attack housekeeping. Looks as if we will again have a power hour at Dragon Con. Looks like it'll be Sunday night again. Night Attack is on Saturday this year. Concert by Turquoise Jeep that night. That morning, trying to put together a fun pancake breakfast. I just got to make sure that all the pricing works out. Because I don't want it. I either want it to be a fairly pricey ticket and have it be very exclusive, or a very cheap ticket where everybody can get in and just hang out with us. This is kind of a money-making thing for the Jeep, so they feel better about performing for us. JuRY, Weezer is in Vegas this Friday. Unfortunately, I'll still be in Orlando. But I did just see Weezer. I saw Weezer at the Bottle Rock Festival right before Outcast, and they were fucking awesome. They were the best I'd ever seen them, to be honest with you. Which kind of fuels part of my optimism that I hope that they make music I like again. Any Let's Plays tonight? No, I'm on the mobile rig, so no Let's Plays. But man, tell you what, the fucking menstruation sensation of Ashley and April, they're tearing it up. Follow at Viking Lass and at Healthy Addict, and they've been like going live pretty much every night playing Minecraft. They're killing it. Look for the death of Pope Innocent. Maybe, I don't know. If you guys like it, then maybe we'll do fucked up moments in history every week. Coat killer. This briefly turned into an episode of Stuff You Missed in History Class. Yeah. Did anybody not find that super weird and fucked up? If you didn't find that super weird and fucked up and worthy of being discussed, then I think we have different ideas of what you want in a one mic radio show. Because I want to talk about the Children's Crusade. That shit is so fucking weird. Can you believe that? 30,000 kids! When will we have problem solvers again? We will have problem solvers soon, hopefully. I didn't want to throw number one, Sarah's been out of the country, and number two, I didn't want to throw problem solvers on top of Brant just because we're already having, it's already a weird thing with me and Brian being out of commission and him switching and everything. So to add somebody else, like when we didn't have to, I didn't want to do. I already did. It was already kind of fucked up to have that episode where we had Molly and Odoctum. Yeah, dude. If you guys have suggestions for fucked up things in history that you kind of barely remember, but you want my interpretation on, go ahead and send them in. JustinRobertYoung@gmail.com. All right. Weird things. Weird things will next hopefully be on Sunday. We've had a couple missed. Well, I guess we had one episode last week, not the most recent Sunday, because I was in Orlando and Brian is kind of out of commission. So we'll see. Okay, gang, I'm gonna shut it on down here and wind things down in my room. I love you. I want you to just know that. Let's go ahead and go out on a little. Here we go.
Dance. 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 Dummy scratch beat. Let's go. Dance. I like to dance. Yeah. I wanna dance. Love to dance. I need to dance. Baby, you wanna dance? Like 40s on this mind.
All right, guys. See you later.